again, the implementation. Try, at least is my humble suggestion to the panel and guests, try to incorporate more of a marketing approach with regard to accepting the change. And I think it would be a lot smoother transition for us to realize all the goals that I think everybody here would like to realize.
Thank you for the comment. And in fact, that is exactly how it's being done. You would have heard me say that the approaches, for example, for CNG use is to have state-owned vehicles as the government-owned vehicles begin the show, as it were, by converting to CNG. And I also said that the EMA, for example, which falls under the ministry, has already converted its fleet to CNG. And we're now working with other agencies and other ministries to effect the same kind of approach. So you're correct, and it can't be done in one bite. It has to be phased in and integrated.
The thing is, if you're planning to convert to CNG, I don't know if you have considered applying for carbon credits, because when you convert from your fuels, other fossil fuels and so on, to gas, then you have an opportunity for carbon trading. Unlike, well, Jamaica, when we introduced 10% ethanol in our transportation fuel, we were not able to get the carbon credits because of life cycle issues, but because we don't produce the ethanol in Jamaica, so it was difficult to prove that, we were actually reducing our carbon footprint and so on. But here in Trinidad, you have the opportunity because you yourselves produce the gas and so on. So I just wanted to follow up, because maybe earnings from your carbon credits could be put into renewable energies. Just a suggestion.
Yes, thank you. And that is indeed a consideration that is being taken to build capacity, as I said, for carbon market participation. Of course, you're challenged by a few things. One is the economies of scale to produce the amount of carbon credits that would attract investors to make it worth their while to buy the credits and to sell them. Although unilaterally you can do CDM projects, which is one of the ways that we are looking at, where investment comes from internal sources, and carbon, the credits accrued will now be sold to a broker or to the highest bidder, as the case may be. So it will be banked. So those are things, options that are also being looked at to cater for the lack of the quantity of carbon that can actually invite an investor to invest in that kind of technology.
So that Kishan should be referring to this question now about CNG and carbon credits. But I really want to make a statement, a comment, based on what was just said. I find it difficult to understand as a national how we have to be hard selling going green in Trinidad and Tobago. Because when I see what the impact has been in other Caribbean countries, my work is primarily in the food and tourism sector. And there, the benefits are quite clear. You don't have Green Globe certification. The tour operators are already telling you that you're going to be sidelined. So that it's not a hard sell for us to go into a hotel and talk about energy efficiency. It's not a hard sell in the food sector to talk about energy efficiency, because now eco-friendliness is the new quality standard. In the old days, if you had a product that was cheap, people would run to you. If you had a food product that was safe, people would be interested. Now it can be cheap and safe if it wasn't produced under what are considered to be eco-friendly conditions. They're not interested. You look at a big change in the UK. I'm connected with the fair trade movement in the Caribbean, and we have been able to access the fair trade market based on that, based on the eco-friendly production technologies in the Windward Islands now. So that I'm saying it's remarkable that we have to hard sell going green, because the benefits, the economic benefits, are quite clear in those two sectors. I think some of the other sectors are playing catch up in that it's not as crucial yet. But if you want to if you look at Tesco's Nature Choice and some of the big chains in the UK, they are already saying that they're bringing all their stuff in by train because it's more efficient transportation. They're talking about food miles. So energy use in those two sectors is not a hard sell, but as I said, It's always interesting to see how difficult it is to sell it to some of the other sectors.
I'm from the Trinidad and Tobago Goat and Sheep Society. It's an agricultural organization. It's a registered not-for-profit. And I'd like to make an offer. It's more of a comment. We have basically had a couple initiatives with other private sector companies, some big, some small, that offer them the chance to participate in greening of their corporate image. All right. We're currently working on something now at Petrotrin, making our production system as well cheaper and to expand it.
I first apologize for my very late arrival here, but I did have another engagement. Hi, Ruth. I'm Indra Haraksing from the University of the West Indies. Kishan, maybe I can ask you if this has already been discussed, the possibilities for renewable energies here in Trinidad and Tobago. Has it been discussed? A little bit. Well, coming so late, I'm not sure, but following up from Steve, there are many plans. I know it has always been a problem, hard selling, as you say, but there is a plan right now, and the renewable energy policy for Trinidad and Tobago is already there on the tables. I think it's gone to cabinet already. And there are plans within that framework to do a lot of sensitization programs, a lot of capacity building, a lot of greening technologies that some of it came across in the budget, perhaps not enough, but okay. So I'm not speaking as the government, I'm speaking as a member of the Renewable Energy Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, and a private person, actually. So let's hope, Steve, that there are things in store for us here in the near future, because we do plan to start renewable energy technologies in a much larger way, and there has even been talk about manufacturing possibilities. And I suppose this is a step in the right direction in this whole climate change issue. Thank you.
I wanted to piggyback on Tamaku's comment just now with regards to asking for new government infrastructure to have these systems as part of the new construction. I have a background of facilities management. I'm also a civil engineer. And having the understanding of a lot of the infrastructure we have in Trinidad by history, the maintenance of these facilities go up over time, and in a lot of instances they aren't properly maintained. Taking into consideration what our cultural history has been in this regard, implementing these sorts of systems put us in a much better position for the future, because all the technical data is there to show that efficiency means lower cost in maintenance and so on for the longevity of any infrastructure we put down. So it would be in very good stead to take that consideration seriously and for us to lobby for things like that to happen. Thanks.
Just to add to what these two gentlemen were saying, it draws back to my first point with regard to the marketing component. These gentlemen and a lot of the other smaller energy companies, they're experiencing that phenomenon of the key point in advertising. Now, let's not confuse advertising with marketing. There's a phase called awareness phase in the whole marketing process that is being ignored. Even at that level, no offense to the panel. A lot of people don't know about the stuff that is available with regard to energy management. That is a key component to the acceptance of any system that is being offered. We going through an economic downturn, but yet still there's funding coming around through the EU and all that lovely stuff. Again, a humble suggestion as another solution to some of these issues that I just heard would be to inject some into creating an awareness process / policy that lets the people in the Caribbean know that there are alternatives. Yeah? And coincidentally, that's what I do, marketing strategies.
I just want to share some of my experience.